Thank you.
I would actually like to start by asking you all to close your eyes. I am going to ring the gong, and when you can't hear it anymore, raise your hand. Alright. This is an example of one of the activities I might use for children. So I bring my little Rin into classrooms in public schools, and kids sit in a circle, and we practice listening and being and breathing and noticing and paying attention. I have been working with children pretty much my whole life, and that's actually where I naturally feel at home, is with children. There's something about being around children. They are so present. You know, they're not worried about the past and worried about the future. They're actually just there with you, and they're engaged with you, and they're curious, and they're excited, and they don't have all of these ideas about how it is that they should think or should be, you know, and you actually sort of watch that start to pile on as you stay with them as they grow, and it's kind of sad. But they believe in magic, and so do I. So that's where I am, that's where I want to be. So I've worked as a nanny, as a preschool teacher, as a yoga teacher for children, in a child development center, all sorts of various settings with children. And so when I started to have my own personal mindfulness practice, when I came into meditation, that was naturally reflected in how I was with the children. So there was really no effort in that sort of connection, because how I was changing, and I was watching how it affected my relationships. And as I saw the benefits that it brought to my own life, of course I wanted to share that with the people I loved. It's like too good to keep for myself. And so all those children are the people that I loved and wanted to share it with. And how it unfolded at first, it really was natural. Like, I wasn't trying. I wasn't saying, okay, sit down, this is called meditation, and this is what we're gonna do. It's just that they noticed. They noticed me. And if I paused, they paused. And if I was quiet, you know, in the throes of something, of them crying or being upset, you know, they notice. Leslie, like, why aren't you upset? You know, they ask those questions. How come you always say it's okay when I spill something, you know? Well, because it is. And so I start to see how they're grabbing it and they're using it. And then the next time, like, 8-year-old Noam, he's getting really angry at his sister, and I watch him walk into his room and start sitting down and breathing. And I'm like, wow. You know, like, they get it. It's like not hard, it makes sense. So it was really just a natural unfolding, like, oh, I see that this is happening, and I see how these areas of my life cannot be kept separate. And as I notice this, of course, I want to offer this in any way that I can, you know. I want to share this. And that's where my inspiration comes from, is to be of benefit, like, to reach out and just offer what I have, and to the population I happen to connect to, which is children. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It didn't take a lot of effort, or, you know, it's not like I set out a plan or had to figure it out. It just happened. Yeah, so the inspiration is really based in noticing, like noticing what's alive for me in my life, like what is sparking, what's happening, what's happening here in my heart, where's the awe for me? Like, what is nourishing me? And if I can connect to that and notice that, and then I notice, oh, look how that's affecting other people, and look how they're reacting, and look what people are wanting. And so it's just a whole lot of noticing and then putting that all together. Okay, so this is where my little chart comes in, because I really feel like these are the important factors for inspiration, is heart. Like, what's in your heart? It has little roots. Like, these are the roots of inspiration. You know, what's genuine for you, what's alive for you, and the spark. So, like, what are you inspired by? Like, what makes you want something? What gives you the motivation to act, actually? And that leads to your intention. And so that's like the first tool for bringing my inspiration into action, is connecting with, what do I intend? Like, what am I actually trying to do here? So, you know, here I wrote out one of my intentions: to create spaces and facilitate practices which offer children and their grown-ups a chance to connect with their own hearts and their inherent goodness, as well as with the magic of the world. And so with this as a foundation, I can keep coming back to that, you know? And so as I'm moving forward and I start to say, okay, how can I reach out? How can I get into schools and classrooms? I found myself coming up against a lot of blocks, a lot of like obstacles, you know? Oh, I don't have this certification, or I don't have the time, or I can't find the right person to talk to. And so instead of getting discouraged, it's like, keep coming back to that. Okay, that's fine, you know? Like, this is what I intend. And that actually starts to come up, and everyone that I talk to in all the various situations that I relate with, people can sense that intention because you're really connected to it. And that comes to genuine presence, right? So I'm just willing to be there and on the spot. Like, I'm gonna offer myself, and this idea of failure, like, I'm willing to come up against that and not even think of it as failure, right? I'm willing to try, to be daring, to put myself on the line, to like offer some time, take a risk, be myself, ask for help, admit that I don't know everything, I'm not the expert, like maybe I don't have all the right certifications, but I'm here and I actually really want this, and that's genuine. And from there, I learned that I can't push too hard, right? I can't try to manipulate everything. And so the more I could relax into my intention, the more things naturally just flowed. And so all of a sudden, it felt effortless. Like, the only effort was that I had to keep coming back to my intention. And so I started getting invited. I was invited to start a children's program in Silicon Valley Shambhala Center, and some of the children that were in my program there, their parents loved what they were experiencing. I got invited into their classrooms in public schools, and from that, everything just unfolded. Now I'm coordinating Shambhala programs for the Northern California region. I'm teaching mindfulness in public school classrooms in Oakland and Silicon Valley, and in homeschool groups, and so the magic happens. That's time. So